Okay, hi everybody out there. As you all know, it's Thursday, and it's the 8th of December, which means it is the annual day of observance of the death of John Lennon, who unfortunately was gunned down on this very day in 1980. Um, I just wanted to make this video to share some of my thoughts about John Lennon. I actually didn't think I'd be able to make a video like this, not because I don't have thoughts about John Lennon, but because I never had that many in the past, because I never knew much about him, I guess, and I've always been more of a fan of the Monkees than the Beatles, but I have much appreciation and respect for the Beatles, and it is interesting to me, why on this day our hearts all collectively groan in such pain. You hardly ever see people agreeing on things these days. You know, you have politics, people on one side or the other. You have religion, people on one side or the other. You have so much that divides people, but so little that unites them. And the death of John Lennon seems to be one of those things that unites people. What is it that we saw in him that meant so much to us? I don't know. You know, I think that he was certainly a person who was not without his faults. He was a complicated man, most certainly. And from what I do know, it seemed like at this point, before he was killed, that he was trying to fix a lot of the things that he had broken in his relationships when he was younger. That he was moving away from his old ways and perhaps trying to, reestablish connections with his loved ones from whom he'd been cut off, either voluntarily or not voluntarily. And he never had that chance. And I think perhaps something about that frightens all of us, because we all want to believe that no matter how bad we screw up, we'll have the chance to make it right. We'll be able to go up to the person or persons that we may have wronged and say, okay, I was dumb, I've cooled off, and okay, let's be friends again. Or we're great believers in the happy ending. And John did not get a happy ending, most certainly, and neither did his sons, or his relationship with them. And it's the broken possibility there, the loss of potential, that perhaps grieves us so, that he never got to put things right, and it makes us afraid that we'll never get to put things right in our own lives. Um, I think of that building in New York. I'm a born and raised New Yorker, not the city, but the suburbs, and I have a great place from New York in my heart, and I've stood outside of the Dakota, and I can imagine what it must be like to live in a place like that, up in that penthouse or wherever it might have been, and you know, feeling kind of disconnected from the world around you, wanting to be a part of it, but being, kind of separated from it because of the experiences that he had as a Beatle, because of his great fame, um, and yet, the whole what happened when he was killed. Someone said Mr. Lennon, and he turned, because perhaps that was who he was. He wanted to talk to people, and he wanted to show appreciation for the love that he'd gotten over the years, and that was all he was trying to do that day, was connect, because he perhaps destroyed so many connections up till then that he was trying to rebuild them, and he saw every chance that someone spoke to him as a chance at a new connection. So that's very sad to think about, that's perhaps, that he never had those opportunities. And and in Central Park there, it's such a massive park to walk through, and there's so much that can go through your head when you're there, especially at that memorial. And I know today that it must have been packed there, people sitting and singing and talking, and just or even being silent respectfully because of what they're trying to remember. So I just am eternally fascinated by the presence of John Lennon in our nation's collective psyche and in pop culture, and I hope that those who loved him and who knew him best will have peace in their lives, because I'm sure that's what he would want for them. And all his fans, I hope they have peace too. And imagine, if you can, that the world is a better place, because that's what John would have wanted.